Hey folks, welcome back to the Portable Gamer, welcome back to European Truck Simulator 2, and welcome to, we're just leaving Reykjavik, we're heading east to Reyðarfjörður, and we're going to take the southern route along the highway, which doesn't look a lot like Iceland. This looks more like Mordor, but no worries, it's still gorgeous, and the sun will be coming up, maybe? I don't know, hard to say in Iceland, but either way, we're doing it, So, yeah, I don't know where to begin, man. It's been a really weird week for me, and it's just been weird. It's been really weird. So I'll try to bring you up to speed on that. We'll talk a little bit about gaming. We'll talk a little bit about life, and we'll just do as we do when we're driving the truck late at night. So yeah, I didn't really post a lot last week, and it was kind of a weird week for me with the holidays. Slow down a little bit here. Kind of a weird week with the holidays, and then I was at the Haunted Mansion, which was fantastic. But on the 31st, I got a text from the Airbnb host saying, you've been a really great guest. Remember, checkout time is 10 a.m. And I texted back and said, I'm checking out tomorrow, the 1st. And then I got a text back from them saying, oh my God, I am so sorry. That's terrible. Why don't you stay an extra night on us? So I did stay an extra night in the Haunted Mansion, and then I traveled again. I actually am the Portable Gamer. I traveled to my next Airbnb, which I have to say is kind of a terrible place to record. It's really doesn't have a good vibe to it. It doesn't have good sound. It's just not cool. I'm really not too pleased with the place, but that's Airbnb. You know, it's luck of the draw. But with the holidays and everything, and with moving, and just things were a little bit chaotic, I ended up doing nothing for Wednesday. I didn't do a train sim video, but those, unless it's a DLC or something, I feel like the train vids really don't get a lot of attention. I wouldn't say they're not worth doing, but they're sort of not worth doing. And you know, spin tires is the same way. I enjoy spin tires, but it never really caught a lot of traction. So I ended up doing back-to-back farm videos for Coldborough Park, starting our canola harvest, and for Donis Laskowitz. Yeah, I think I got that almost right. Donis Laskowitz. Just getting started on that farm. So that was cool. But then that took us into Friday, and Friday is, I'm going to be really careful here because I have the trailer stability turned off, which I guess is like maximum, maximum realism. It's certainly not responsive. I like it. So the race was at San Marino, MotoGP. The race was at San Marino. I'm in the Moto2 class. And you haven't seen a MotoGP vid for a few weeks because I've been having this problem where I qualify well, but I race terribly. And I absolutely do not understand it. So I qualified on the pole. I lost a few spots on the start, as I always do, and then I got passed by 1 or 2 riders per lap, and I'm doing full-length races now, 25 laps. I got passed by 1 or 2 riders per lap till I was last, and finished like 10 seconds off the back. And that seems, you know, maybe not quite accurate. Like, how do I qualify half a second fastest on the pole, and then I can't turn a single race lap faster than even the slowest rider on the track? If that's me, I'm more than willing to accept responsibility for that, but I don't think that's me. That just seems weird, and I don't fully get it. Anyway, it was a terrible race. It would not have been any fun to record. And the same thing happened a few weeks ago, so to fix it, a couple weeks ago, I just did another race. I just went back to back, and I was thinking of doing that again, and then I realized the last time I did that, it ended up being like 4 hours, 5 hours in the chair. And I enjoy MotoGP, but I don't enjoy it that much. And I don't enjoy feeling like I'm on a clock, you know, like up against a deadline. I don't know, it's hard to explain. So no MotoGP video. So then Friday, I started to record a ETS video for Saturday, a regular scheduled video. And that was turning into a big pile of poo. So I didn't post anything yesterday, and I have some friends of mine that are, they're not really into gaming or YouTube, which makes them, I think, great resources to ask questions because they got no stake. They got no dog in the hunt. So I trust their advice because they're not trying to direct me toward anything specific. And I asked both of them, like, I feel like, I don't want to say I'm burnt out, but I feel like I'm just kind of flailing at it. Like nothing's working right now. And they said, take a couple days off. You know, it's not like you're going to post 4 or 5 or 6 videos a week, every week for the rest of your life. Like at some point you're going to take some time off. It may as well be now, you know, it's fine. So I did. I took a couple days off, and coming back into it, I'm really feeling no better. It's like I've completely forgotten how to YouTube, and I wasn't, you know, that great at it before, but now I feel like I'm just flailing. So it's an interesting phenomenon, and you know, in a weird way, I kind of like stuff like this. I do enjoy, how do I want to say this? Figuring things out, you know, solving problems, understanding things, peeling back the layers. So whatever it is that's going on, okay, you know, I'm curious, and I don't know if I'm burned out. I don't know if you can burn out on something that you enjoy this much, but so it goes. Now, something that I can tell you is I feel like FS19 sort of, I feel like that changed something, because I had looked forward to it for so long, and I really felt like that could be an opportunity to grow the channel a little bit, because I would be one of the first YouTubers to make FS19 videos. Now, to be fair, every YouTuber is going to make FS19 videos, so I realized I wouldn't be the only one, but you know what I mean. I felt like I could really, you know, push for some growth with that, and for FS19 to be what it was, and for it to be kind of a letdown, I feel like that just sort of took the wind out of my sails. Now, I can't say that being back on 17, and I had uninstalled and deleted 17, and then I reinstalled it, but I had deleted all my mods, so I had to go find them again. And I feel like that was a good thing, because I only downloaded mods that, with 2+ years of experience with the game, I know I used them. I ended up at one point with like over 600 mods in my mod folder, and a lot of them I never even used. I just downloaded them because I thought they were cool, and then I ended up never deleting them. So that is a good thing, because now I have just sort of some core mods that I know work and know look good, and I know I can trust them. And we're sort of done there, because there aren't that many new mods for FS17 coming out, certainly none that I need to pursue when I already have enough that work for me. And all my games are, other than FS17, all my games are Steam now. I got completely off serial numbers, which means any mods that I have, for the most part, are through the Steam store, through the workshop, which means that, again, for the most part, they maintain themselves. And a few videos back, I was talking about this theory that I have of peak mod, which is that we end up with so many mods that keeping our mods maintained, keeping our sims running, takes as much time, or in some cases more time, than actually playing the sim, and how that's sort of ridiculous. And, you know, the obvious solution is, well, don't use mods. But I think some of these sims, without mods, they're just not the same. And the problem that I have is I have a lot of sims, and I'm trying to do this YouTube thing. So it's not as simple as, well, hey man, if you don't like it, you know, just play one game. And there are some people that I see on forums, on threads, and I realize, or I assume based on their comments, like, wow, this person just plays the hell out of this one sim. They're not, you know, they're not spreading it around. I know some people do, but I know some people don't. And I think, well, easy for you, because you've just got one sim to maintain. So I hope that by transitioning to Steam and the workshop, I've simplified my life. And I feel like for ETS and ATS, I have the mods that I need now. And I don't need to go looking every morning to see what's dropped overnight. I feel like that's going to solve some of my problems there. But I was getting a little bit, I have to say, burned out on that too. I was getting a little bit tedious. So that is something. This place, as I said, not a good place to record, not comfortable. The table, there's no desk, and the table is a high top with tall wooden, they're not bar stools, they have backs to them. But it's not a comfortable place. I can't get a good angle, I can't lean back. It sounds like I'm whining, but I'm just describing it. And the acoustics suck. It's like all plaster. It's just not good. So some of that is inherent, you know, I'm the portable gamer, right? So you got to deal with it. And that's part of what I'm doing here is that my whole gaming rig travels with me as I'm on the road, and I have to make it work wherever I am. So yeah, that's part of the experiment. That's part of what we're doing. And that's all good. But sometimes the experiment, you know what I mean, is not always the most fun. And that's where I am right now. So I think all of that put together, the holidays, you know, some setbacks, some challenges, it was like, yeah, I'm just taking a few days off. Now what's weird is, now that I'm back to it, I'm a mess. I feel like I've never recorded a video before. I feel awkward, and I'm just, you know, it just doesn't feel, I feel like I got no flow. I got no mojo. So anyway, that's what's going on there. That's what's going on there for the channel. I've got, in gaming news, really nothing. I think January is going to be a pretty dry month. There may be a DLC for Train Sim World dropping late January, early February. I've heard a rumor. Still haven't seen ProMods 2.33, but that'll be out soon. Hopefully before we get to the Baltic states, because we have to drive across Scandinavia, remember? So hopefully before we get to the Baltics, there will be the new ProMods. Sorry, you know, when I get quiet like that, it just means I'm concentrating on something. I didn't forget about you. So we'll see about that. We'll see. And other than that, really nothing. I don't know. I haven't even heard a rumor about Euro Truck Simulator 3 or ETS2. Honestly, I don't know that SCS would need to do that for either. I think they could keep most of this going through patches until the game's needed like a whole new engine. Because at this point, it is getting a little long in the tooth. Wow, with the trailer stability, this truck is just belligerent. I do like that though. I like the realism. So at some point, yes, SCS, I feel like they'll have to go with a new, more state-of-the-art physics engine and graphics engine. But I haven't even heard a rumor about that. So I don't know that that's going to happen anytime soon. So in the meantime, yep, we're good there. FS19 just dropped, so we won't see another farm sim till FS21. Cattle and Crops, if they can get it together and get a full retail release, good on them. I'm not sure that I'll buy it based on my experience with the project to this point, but you know, that could be the next farm sim that we see if it comes out in the next 2 years. We shall see. Other than that, racing sims, iRacing just dropped their massive December patch and update, dynamic day-night cycles. Super happy about that. Haven't spent a lot of time in it, but super happy about that. Project Cars 3 is a rumor, but it always is. Assetto Corsa Competizione continues to roll out, one update at a time on their early access roadmap. What else? R Factor 2, no rumors about R Factor 3. Race Room continues to drop DLC and content, but no rumors about an R3E2. So yeah, for the most part, as far as sim gaming goes, I think we're in kind of a holding pattern until the end of January, and that's cool. That's totally cool. Everybody needs a little time to recover from the holidays. So no worries there. So that is gaming news. Now, and this is, I don't know, I want to say it's the weirdest part, but perhaps it's the most unexpected thing that I'm going to tell you. Right before Christmas, I saw on Steam, I saw The Division on sale for 85% off. And I thought, you know what? I'll take a chance. I realized that game was released in March of 2016, which in another month or two will make it 3 years old. I realized that from everything that I've seen, it's one of the prettiest games that I've ever seen, and it's Ubisoft, so I was not 100% confident that my machine could play it at all. According to the minimum and recommended specs, I would be able to, but I wasn't 100% confident, you know, but I figured even the gold edition with a bunch of DLC came to like $18. It really was just an unbelievable bargain. Enough so that I would risk being wrong. So I went ahead and downloaded it, and sure enough, it plays fine. Whoa, easy player. It plays fine, and I even benchmarked because initially it set everything on low, And I thought, we can do a little better than that. So I set everything on high, still holding rock steady 61 FPS. And I thought, okay, let's see if we can do a little better than that. So I bumped it to high, and we're still at 61 FPS. And I think what's saving me is it is a 3-year-old game. The Division 2 is coming out soon, and I suspect that I will not be able to run that on high. But after I had bumped things up to high and was still holding, I went ahead and did a benchmark, and I got 40% CPU, which is, to be fair, my CPU is a little bit OP compared to my GPU. But I got 40% usage on CPU and 80% on GPU. And I thought, okay, well, shoot. Now, I'm not going to bump it up any higher than that because I do, I'm an American. I like V8 power. I don't like a small engine working very hard. I like a big engine that doesn't have to work as hard as it can, if that makes sense. So the idea of, just having either my chipset or my graphics card just like screaming along at 100 or above, red zone, that sort of thing. It's just not, I don't see a need for that. So I left everything on high and not taxing anything, and the system is running nice and cool. My fans aren't kicking on high. I'm amazed by that. What's our speed limit here? Is it 50? It's 50. Yeah, I'm a mess lately. I really am. It's like I just have lost my mojo. I don't know how else to describe it. It's a weird thing. But anyway, so back to the Division. Years ago, I was kind of a casual fan of the tactical shooter genre. I was not that into it, but Medal of Honor was my franchise. And obviously, Medal of Honor I feel like 2K10, maybe that was when they sort of went off a cliff. Definitely Warfighter, and that whole thing where you can play as the Taliban. Wow, they dropped the ball on that one. You got to know your audience in this world. You got to know when you've pushed it too far, and I feel like they really So Warfighter was the end of that franchise for all intents and purposes. Uh-oh. But so it goes, that happens. And that was the last time that I had really played a tactical shooter, and those are both first-person shooters. So I had seen the Division online, but I really didn't have a clear understanding of it because I got the game fired up, and the RPG aspect of it is unbelievable. And if you're here primarily as a sim gamer and you don't know RPG lingo, basically role-playing games, and the biggest one I would say is probably World of Warcraft. But any role-playing game is essentially a digital version of Dungeons & Dragons, which was a paper and dice game that I actually used to play back in the day with some friends. And everything is based on calculations and probabilities, and you build your character, and your character has certain strengths and characteristics which you can improve, and you can also buy goods, weapons, clothing, various things that can make your weak areas as strong as your strong areas, right? You're sort of enhancing them with external stuff. Or you can get things that make your already strong characteristics even stronger. You can play it however you want. And it's weird that in desktop RPG, people tend to either play as a version of themselves and solve problems exactly as they would, or they go the opposite route and they create like an alter ego that is completely the opposite of them. So if you're like a big old meathead football player, you play as, oh, this is a roundabout? No, it's just a turn. If you're a big old meathead football player, you play as an orc, with 1 billion hit points and no brains. Or maybe you go the other way and you play as like a mage or something with no armor, but like unbelievable intellect and spell power or something. So that it doesn't seem like there are a lot of people that are right in the middle. Although some people, particularly in digital where it's very easy to just hit the random button, I know there are some people that just randomize their character and then play as whatever the game gives them. And they see that as kind of a unique challenge because it's neither. They're not playing as themselves. They're also not playing as the opposite of themselves. So that's basically what role-playing is about. But what gave it away is after I left my base for the first time I got in a fight, you know, I'm used to Medal of Honor, Call of Duty, Battlefield, where, you know, you snipe somebody, if you shoot them in the head, they just drop, right? One shot, one kill. And what I was noticing was, as I was shooting people, and it's all automatic weapons, you've got the damage numbers flying off them like confetti. And you get, I mean, there were a couple people when I was just starting out, early days, my weapons weren't very powerful. I would have to empty like an entire magazine from an AR into some fool to drop him. And I thought, oh, that's kind of weird. And the first time I went back to the base and, you know, saw that you could like take something that you had looted and deconstruct it, get parts from it, and there was a crafting station, it clicked like, this is not a tactical shooter. The Division is an RPG game, and the sort of the venue for it is New York City as a cop. So basically it's a fantasy RPG, and they've replaced swords and spells with guns and technology. But it's primarily an RPG game. I don't know how we're tired. I just slept. What in the world? Okay. Well, you know what? It is what it is. We're at 21 minutes, so maybe we'll go a little while longer, and first place we find to pull into sleep, we'll call in an episode. So essentially what I'm saying is the Division is fantastic, and it's beautiful, and it plays well on my machine, and it is a shooter of sorts, but it's a lot of looting and raiding, and yeah, I'm totally pleased with it. It's just absolutely not what I expected. So that is, I've been spending some time in there a little bit. I briefly considered doing a Division video for the channel, and ultimately I decided not to, and there's several reasons why. One is it's a 3-year-old game. The other is it is like nothing else on the channel, and not in a good way. Like it wouldn't add diversity, or, you know what I mean? It would just be weird. Like, what is this doing on a sim channel? Although, I was in the shower the other day and I realized that all gaming is sim gaming. Unless you have a game where you pretend to be yourself, all gaming is simulation gaming. But that's a story for another day. Anyway, I thought about that, and then, and the third reason is I suck at it. I'm not very good at either RPG games or shooters. Although I have been very reluctant. I remember like the darkest days of Xbox One live chat, and yeah, the children screaming obscenities and racial slurs. It's like that's sort of burned into my head. I've never really gotten over that, and so I'm extremely reluctant to get involved in any kind of multiplayer. iRacing at the lower levels where I am now is a nightmare, and I know Euro Truck is just troll central. So many trolls. Are we down to 50? No, we're still at 80. So many trolls. It's crazy. Hard to even have fun. So I'm really reluctant to get involved in any kind of multiplayer online at all. But I took a chance and I hit the matchmaker button, and I met the coolest group of people. I suspect they were all adults. Now, I don't know how sophisticated the matchmaking technology is. I know it matches you by skill level, but I don't know if it matches you also by playing style, either plus or minus. And by that I mean, I don't know if it pairs you up with people that play just like you, same style, because you'll play well together, or if it pairs you up with people that play a different style than you so that you can form a more effective team. You know, Tom Clancy he was a very cool guy. He really had no background in military or intelligence, and yet he wrote these amazingly sophisticated books about the military and about intelligence, to the point where he was like invited to lecture at CIA. Like he was that much of had that much of an understanding of how a military unit works, big or small. And Ubisoft and the whole Rainbow Six, you know, I feel like every Tom Clancy series via Ubisoft has been very respectful of his memory and how seriously he took the effectiveness of a group of people fighting for something. So who knows? You know, it could be that the software is sophisticated enough that it does find a group of people that it can put together to be an effective fighting force, even though they are, you know what I mean? Could be. I don't know. I just know we got on famously, and I learned so much about the game, and I guess it's a thing in the Division, even though it's 3 years old, that people sort of, the first time you go in multiplayer, they sort of take you under their wing, get you some XP, get you some good loot drops, and just teach you how the game works. And I had already gotten up to level 20 on my own, but this cat helped me really level up a bit more quickly, and we played for a couple hours, and it was really, really cool. So I did not see that coming. I didn't think I would get a shooter at all. I certainly didn't expect it to be an RPG shooter. I didn't expect it to be as good as this, and I did not expect the multiplayer experience to work out as well as it did. So everything came together, and it just absolutely turned out to be a wonderful experience. So I am going to be spending some time in the Division, and yeah, we'll see how it all goes. I don't think you'll ever see it on the channel, though. I'm not being a tease when I say that. I'm not being clever. I'm just telling you, I don't see a reason for it, and I don't know that it would be a good fit anyway. So I'm desperately looking for a place to sleep, and I'm not seeing one. So what I'm going to do is, if I haven't seen one by the time we get to 30 minutes, I'm just going to fade the video out exactly the same way I faded it in. Now, normally we start from the parking lot looking at the truck, but today we started moving. Not started moving. You know what I mean. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh, so close. See, I'm driving badly. I'm doing everything badly. I don't know, man. I think something's wrong with me. Oh, is this place to sleep? I think it is. I think it is. Perfect. Okay, so we'll pull in here. We're right about 30 minutes. We'll end the video. This is fantastic. It all worked out. Okay, so that's something that went right. There you go. There you go. Lift axles up. Parking, yes it is. Okay. Is this a hotel? Sure is. Let's figure out how we get in here. Right here looks good. Now, how am I supposed to get in there? Do they want me all the way? No, I can just go right in here. Okay. This is a bit half-assed, but we're just going to pull up here next to this guardrail. Or I guess we could get around next to this guy. Yeah, it's a little better. Fantastic. Oh, that's nice. Fall asleep looking out at the ocean. Beautiful. So let's get her in neutral. Set the brake. Parking lights on. Hop back inside. Engine off. There you go. Folks, thanks so much for stopping back to check out The Portable Gamer. Thanks for joining us for another episode of European Truck Simulator 2. And we'll see you next time. Take care now.